Hey guys, how you all doing? I promised to make the gold build for Jotunnslayer, or a video about the gold build in Jotunnslayer Hordes of Hel. So here it is. You want to be starting with the Warden. The Warden is the one that I've played the most of. Now, it might be possible that you can do a similar build with some of the other classes, but I've only built it so far with the Warden. The Warden's good because the subclass that you pick partway through can increase your gold chance, your XP amount, as well as your collection range and healing. So it's very survivable, and it's going to give you a lot of gold. The three gods that you want to pair with this Warden is Freya. I really like Freya. She can give you some good health benefits, some additional gold benefits, which is helpful. And I really like her Divine Wave. That's the big circle around her. And if you want to unlock level 4 for that, that's going to be useful for you for clearing. You also want to take Loki, but Loki's a little bit of a weird one because some of the skills that you get for him will actually give you a debuff or a penalty, and I don't like any of those, so I don't pick any of those skills. But what we can do with Loki is we can get additional benefits from leveling and from chests, so that increases the chance there, possibility for additional options which can be useful. And then once you've taken everything that you want from him, you can actually banish him if you've got any of those. So save your banish for once you have your three gods picked, once you've picked everything from Loki that you want. I don't even take any skills with him. There's one where you're shooting a single target. That's the spark skill. That can be quite useful. It's especially useful on the 4th level, which I'm going to pronounce as Vettelheim. I think it's something like that. If you take spark, because you're going to want single target damage for the boss, so that can be really useful there. And the other god that you're going to want to take is Njord. I think I'm pronouncing that right as well. Njord. Njord. Njord's really good because you can take a skill or it's a passive skill, which gives you the possibility of additional gold pickups every time you pick up gold. Now that's nice because you're going to aim for picking up gold as much as possible. Every time you pick it up, you're going to have a chance of picking up more, and every time you pick that gold up, you get another chance to maybe pick up more, and it can go on for quite a while. Especially good for when you complete objectives, so you're going to take all the objectives that have the most gold, because the more gold you're picking up, the more chances Njord is to trigger that passive. So really useful. You want to try and grab that on as early as possible. So if you can get into Njord first and grab the additional gold, that's going to really help you. I think Freya has the skill whereby every time you pick up gold, you can get healing. So that's going to stack really well with that. And Loki's going to give you the chance to have additional benefits. But you don't need to take a lot from Loki. Like I said, probably not going to grab any skills. And maybe you can grab a couple of passives there. There's healing passives. There's treasure passives. Gold passives. You can take any of those if you want to grab them, and I'm just noticing that you can actually receive instant gold reward instead of a passive skill. That might be something to play around with later. I've only just noticed that in the skill shop, so that could be good. There's movement speed buffs as well. But you don't want to take much from Loki. Banish him as soon as possible. It's nice if you get your three gods and then use your banish on one of them, because now you're only ever going to be given the chance to pick from your class and the other two gods. I was using the blasphemy earlier on in order to get rid of one of the chances, but I realized it's better to save it and get rid of Loki once you're done with him. You really only need to pick the two passives, and that's an increased chance for more rewards. If you want to grab a couple of others, you can play around with that. I suspect some of you are going to perfect this even more than I have. So if you do, let me know in the comments. But anyway, Loki, you just grab the extra things and then you banish him, get rid of him, blasphemy him. So now you're left with Njord. Njord's got a passive that you can unlock in the skill shop that will use 2 ores to do damage and knockback. That's quite useful, especially if you're going to go with the Freya skills of maybe Divine Wave. I think that's the best one. And then Freya's sword can be useful. That's another area of effect. And then if you want with Njord, you can actually unlock in the skill shop a brand new autocast, which is the water bubble. Take that up to level 4. That's going to give you a protective casing, and then because you've gone with the Warden class, then it's quite useful to take the shield wall and then whichever one you prefer. I'm still playing around with it. I like the idea of the oscillating hammers. I don't think it's actually as useful as I want it to be. Seismic shock can be good, although that's going to be slightly away from you when it does damage. But anyway, your main build is going to be aiming for those 3 gods. It's Freya, it's Loki, and it's Njord, and you're taking the Warden class. Those are your 4 picks. Once you've got 1 picked from each god, then you're not going to be presented with any options from the other gods. That's useful. And if you can get Loki done really quickly with the benefits from rewards, 2 points in that, and then blasphemy him so that you don't have him anymore. Njord is probably the best first choice because you're going to take that gold benefit, and that way you're benefiting from it straight away. Until you have that skill, you actually want to stay away from any gold on the map because you may as well pick it up later. I'm sure you're going to go past it. You'll probably see it. I know it's not shown on the map, but I'm sure you will find it. So you take that from, you're now getting additional points additional gold. Once you've got that, you don't really need the gold health yet from Freya, so you can actually focus on getting your 3 autocast. Again, it's probably 2 from Freya, 1 from Njord, so you're still free to get rid of Loki if you grab those benefits by now. If you haven't, then you're going to have to keep him around. Excuse me. So you've got your autocast pick. You're now down to passives. The additional damage with class skills and with god skills that you can pick from the Warden, they seem to vary. They seem to go a really long way. Makes a big difference. And whenever I'm picking chests, I will go XP first if I get the 50% of level. I like that. I think that's really good. Also, you've now got the additional benefits that you might get 2 rewards because of Loki. You can also buy more in the skill shop to increase that, but you'll be getting to, you can potentially get an entire level if you get P on both. I like the class and the god skill damage boost. You get a flat 20% that does stack, so that's worth picking throughout. I don't really like to pick up the gold ever in chest because the gold in chest doesn't drop, and because it doesn't drop for you to pick it up, then you don't trigger the Njord extra gold, so there can be some issues there, so don't worry about that. Flat damage is really good. Like I said, the XP is probably the main one to go for, and if you're not getting presented with either of them, then possibly a class skill or a god skill upgrade. Seems to really work very well, but it's all about picking up as much gold as possible. Once you then get your subclass, like I said, it's the first option that you get, the far left option, which I think is just called Adventurer. So you're literally playing the Warden Adventurer build, which is all about gold, and then Njord's going to give you extra. I think Freya can give you the option as well that every time you level you get gold, and that gold does appear on the map, which therefore you have to pick it up, which then gives you the option of, or the possibility of triggering Njord again. So you've got some really good options here. Let me know what you think of the build if you try it out. If you perfect it at all, or you think you can do better, then please do let me know. We're talking maybe about 1,000 gold here that you can get with this. Maybe 1,000 gold on a standard insane run. You can add in a couple of modifiers maybe, but I think I'm getting 200 or 300 at best with the other classes, but it's 1,000 every run with this Warden Adventurer, and that makes it really easy to unlock more skills in the skill shop. Once that's all full, you can drop this build and then what you're probably going to be doing is looking to get through insane runs with all 6 modifiers. So let me know what you think about the build if you try it out. If you've got any better builds or suggestions for me, then please put them in the comments. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, then please do subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.